Each PAC-3 interceptor is a compact, high-speed kinetic weapon, tuned for precision against ballistic and cruise missiles. Unlike older blast fragmentation designs, 3 combines a small, focused warhead with pure kinetic impact.
This is the hit-to-kill principle, destroying the threat by direct impact, smashing the warhead instead of just damaging the shell.
In Saudi Arabia, Patriot has been used repeatedly to intercept missiles and drones aimed at cities and critical energy infrastructure.
In modern European conflicts, PAC-3 has become a symbol of protection against advanced ballistic and cruise missile attacks. Missile defense buys time and reduces damage, but it cannot erase war. Its job is to turn a fatal strike into a survivable one.
Yet the cost of not having protection can be far higher, measured in lives lost and entire neighborhoods erased in seconds.
Tonight we enter the world of Patriot PAC-3, the shield that stands between incoming fire and a burning city.
For decades, nations have feared the sudden curve of a ballistic missile, launched hundreds of kilometers away with minutes to react.
In those few minutes, every decision matters, and the difference between survival and catastrophe is measured in seconds.
I am a U.S. missile defense specialist, and in this film, I will walk you inside the Patriot PAC-3 system.
Patriot PAC-3 is not just a missile. It is a complete air and missile defense ecosystem built to intercept deadly threats in mid-flight. From its launchers to its radar and fire control computers, every component is designed for one purpose: hit the threat before it hits you.
Compared with earlier Patriot versions, PAC-3 packs more smaller missiles per launcher, turning one battery into a much denser shield.
Each PAC-3 interceptor is a compact, high-speed kinetic weapon, tuned for precision against ballistic and cruise missiles.
Inside the missile sit the active radar seeker, advanced guidance computer, compact warhead, and a powerful rocket motor. The nose holds the Ka-band radar seeker, allowing the missile to search for and lock onto a target during the final seconds of flight.
The guidance computer calculates not where the target is, but where it will be moments from now, guiding the interceptor into a collision course. Traveling at over Mach 5, the PAC-3 has only fractions of a second to adjust its path and line up for a direct hit.
Attitude control motors along the body fire in rapid bursts, allowing the missile to snap toward maneuvering warheads and decoys.
Unlike older blast fragmentation designs, 3 combines a small, focused warhead with pure kinetic impact.
This is the hit-to-kill principle, destroying the threat by direct impact, smashing the warhead instead of just damaging the shell.
But the missile is only one piece of the story. Patriot's real strength lies in how all its elements work together as a single system.
At the heart of the Patriot battery stands the AN/MPQ-65 radar, a multi-function phased array eye watching the sky.
Behind the antenna face, high-power transmitters and digital processors turn reflected signals into precise tracks, even in the middle of electronic jamming.
The brain of the battery is the engagement control station, where operators monitor the air picture and decide when to fire. With a few rapid actions, a track is classified as hostile, rules of engagement are checked, and the system prepares to launch.
A single Patriot battery usually includes one radar, multiple launchers, generators, and the control station.
Tactically, the launchers are spread out to avoid being destroyed in one strike, while the radar stays positioned for the clearest sky view. Independent power generators allow the battery to operate off-grid for long periods, a crucial advantage during sustained military campaigns. When the threat moves, Patriot moves with it, relocating by road to protect new critical assets like airbases, ports, or capital cities. Within hours, a trained crew can emplace the battery, raise the radar, orient the launchers, and be ready to intercept. Patriot usually operates as one layer in a broader air defense architecture, sitting between long-range sensors and short-range point defenses.
This layered approach ensures that even if one system misses, another has a chance to engage, raising the overall probability of protection.
Now, let us walk through a typical engagement scenario. An enemy launches a short-range ballistic missile toward a key airbase. The missile arcs high above the clouds, its warhead separating and diving back toward the defended area at extreme speed. Seconds later, the Patriot radar picks up the incoming object, filters out clutter, and starts refining its trajectory in real time.
The system classifies the threat as a ballistic missile, calculates its predicted impact point, and determines whether it threatens protected assets.
Once authorized, the crew confirms engagement, and the fire control computer selects the best launchers and firing sequence.
With a roar, one or more PAC-3 interceptors leap from their canisters, quickly pitching over toward the incoming target. Often, more than one interceptor is launched per target, improving the odds of a successful kill against complex or maneuvering threats.
During flight, the missiles receive continuous updates from the radar, refining the intercept solution as new data arrives.
Near the endgame, the missile's own seeker takes over, independently tracking the warhead and steering for a direct collision. Far above the airbase, missile and warhead collide, the main explosive payload destroyed before it can reach its intended victims. On the ground, operations continue. The airbase survives, not because the threat disappeared, but because the shield worked in time.
To understand its power, we must compare PAC-3 with older Patriot generations that focused on aircraft and basic missile defense.
Earlier PAC-2 missiles were bigger and relied heavily on blast fragments, while PAC-3 is smaller, more agile, and truly designed for hit-to-kill. The smaller size means more interceptors per launcher, allowing a single battery to fight off saturation attacks with multiple shots per inbound threat. The MSE variant adds a dual-pulse motor, giving the interceptor extra energy in the final phase to chase high-performance targets.
In real conflicts, Patriot batteries are often used to defend high-value targets like oil fields, command centers.
From the Middle East to Europe and Asia, more than a dozen U.S. allies trust Patriot as a core pillar of their air and missile defenses.
In Saudi Arabia, Patriot has been used repeatedly to intercept missiles and drones aimed at cities and critical energy infrastructure.
In modern European conflicts, PAC-3 has become a symbol of protection against advanced ballistic and cruise missile attacks.
Beyond any single conflict, Patriot PAC-3 represents how nations try to regain control in an age of increasingly precise long-range weapons.
Strategically, a Patriot battery is more than hardware. It shapes how an enemy plans, forcing them to commit more missiles, decoys, and timing tricks.
Attackers may respond with saturation strikes and decoys, but each extra layer of defense raises the cost and complexity of breaking through. There is a harsh economic reality. A PAC-3 interceptor can cost millions, while a drone or crewed rocket may cost only thousands.
That is why Patriot is never used alone. It is paired with cheaper systems that handle low-cost threats, preserving the high-end intercept.
Modern Patriot batteries plug into a wider network, receiving target data from satellites, airborne radars, and other ground sensors.
This integrated air and missile defense environment lets Patriot engage threats it did not detect itself, acting on remote data to extend coverage. Even as the hardware stays in service for decades, software and electronics are constantly upgraded to counter new threat types and tactics.
Live fire tests against realistic ballistic targets validate not just the missile, but the whole chain: sensors, networks, algorithms, and crew.
Yet no system is perfect. Even with advanced tech, there will be leakers, and no commander can ever promise a 100% shield.
Missile defense buys time and reduces damage, but it cannot erase war. Its job is to turn a fatal strike into a survivable one.
Patriot batteries around the world are also political symbols, signaling alliances and shared commitments to defend common airspace.
Operators train for countless scenarios in simulators, learning how to discriminate real threats from clutter and decoys under extreme time pressure.
Behind every launch is a long chain of logistics and maintenance, keeping missiles reliable and ready after years in sealed canisters. At first light, a ready launcher carries multiple chances to save lives, each canister a dormant decision that may be used only once.
Every generation faces new offensive weapons, from V-2 rockets to modern hypersonics. And future systems may reach farther, react faster, or rely more on AI. But the Patriot PAC-3 is a key.
New hypersonic and quasi-ballistic weapons try to outmaneuver defenses, forcing systems like Patriot to evolve their tracking and guidance.
Instead of simple arcs, modern threats may twist and dive, so interceptors need more agility, smarter software, and better sensor fusion. Engineers run thousands of digital battles every day, training algorithms to recognize patterns and reject decoys faster than a human could. Artificial intelligence will assist, not replace, operators, highlighting suspicious tracks, but leaving the final trigger decision in human hands.
Cyber threats are another front. An attacker might try to blind radars or corrupt data, so digital defenses are as vital as physical armor.
Every Patriot battery sits inside a web of communications, and each link must be protected.
Electronic warfare may try to flood the radar with noise, but modern signal processing techniques can often strip away the interference.
Commanders must choose how to orient the radar and how far to push the envelope, trading wider coverage for stronger protection in key directions.
By overlapping defended zones, planners create hardened bubbles over vital assets, accepting more risk in less critical areas. Terrain matters. Hills, buildings, and even the curve of the Earth can hide low-flying threats, forcing creative placement of radars and launchers.
Coastal cities and ports are prime targets, and Patriot often sits just inland, guarding the lifelines of trade and military logistics. Protecting these hubs means keeping supply chains intact, allowing fuel, ammunition, and humanitarian aid to reach where they are needed most.
Because Patriot systems are expensive and limited, leaders must make hard choices about which cities, airbases, or assets get an umbrella.
Sometimes, a single defended rail junction or power plant can determine whether an entire front line holds or collapses.
For the crew, the pressure is personal. They know a missed intercept could mean casualties they will later see on the news.
Training builds calm under stress, so that when sirens sound and screens light up red, the team moves through a practice checklist instead of panicking.
Simulators introduce surprises, second waves, decoys, or simultaneous drone swarms, so operators develop habits that adapt quickly to changing threats.
They practice transitioning from routine watch to maximum readiness, powering up launchers, confirming communications, and tightening rules of engagement.
One of the hardest challenges is avoiding fratricide, never engaging friendly or civilian aircraft, even under intense time pressure.
After every drill or real engagement, the team studies what happened, looking for seconds that could be saved and mistakes that must never repeat. Behind the frontline battery stands a deep logistics chain, from spare radar modules to carefully stored missile canisters.
Missiles spend years sealed away, and periodic inspections ensure temperature, humidity, and connections remain within tight limits.
Resupplying a battery is a major undertaking, requiring secure transport and careful handling of sensitive hardware and energetic materials. Each PAC-3 interceptor represents thousands of hours of engineering, manufacturing, and quality checks before it ever reaches a launcher.
National budgets must balance air defense against fighters, ships, and ground forces, and every interceptor purchased is a deliberate trade-off.
Yet the cost of not having protection can be far higher, measured in lives lost and entire neighborhoods erased in seconds.
Civil defense plans work alongside missile defense, preparing rescue teams and shelters in case debris or a surviving warhead reaches the ground.
For civilians, drills and shelters are the last line of protection, a reminder that no technological shield can replace basic preparedness.
At the political level, missile defense shapes negotiations, as some nations see systems like Patriot.
Strategists argue about whether better defenses make war less likely or simply push adversaries to build more missiles and more complex attack plans.
As a defense specialist, I see Patriot PAC-3 as a tool, a powerful one that can save lives. But
when missile defense works, the most important stories are quiet ones. Hospitals that stay powered. Sometimes the only sign is a brief scroll of text on the news, quickly forgotten, while everyday life goes on.
The journey from early Patriot systems to PAC-3 reflects a larger evolution, from shooting down aircraft to hitting small.
That evolution combined advances in radar, computing, propulsion, and materials science into a single, tightly integrated weapons system. Young officers now study past successes and failures in missile defense, learning that overconfidence can be as dangerous as vulnerability. In the end, the contest between missile and interceptor is a race across the sky, a duel measured in milliseconds and meters.
When everything works, radar, networks, computers, training, and the missile itself, the intercept is almost invisible. The greatest compliment to a system like Patriot PAC-3 is a blank screen, a night when no enemy weapon reaches its intended target.
Somewhere beyond those fields, missiles exist, but tonight they are held at bay, and people live their lives under an unseen umbrella.
As technology advances, the hope is not just for stronger defenses, but for a world where neither side feels a need to fire at all.
One day, today's frontline systems will sit in museums, reminders of both the dangers we faced and the ingenuity used to counter them. The true measure of success for missile defense will always be this: how often the sky above us.
Ultimately, missile defense is about human lives on the ground, the people in cities, bases, and villages who never see the intercept but depend on it.
For them, the best air defense is the one they never notice, the system that quietly turns a disaster into just another ordinary day.
As long as missiles exist, defenders will need systems like Patriot PAC-3.
You have just seen how Patriot 3 works as a system. Missile, radar, network, and people